a healthy, thriving, diverse bird population. It's such a critical part of why we love California. So many good birds, so much good nature. Secondary cavity nesting birds, the swallows, the chickadees, the titmice, these are birds that want to nest in a hole in a tree but can't make one themselves, so they need these woodpeckers around to make holes in trees. There's a lot of European starlings, which are non-native species that have showed up in the park, and they're taking a lot of the natural nest sites. So a lot of the holes in the trees are occupied by, I think I saw at least 5 European starling families this summer alone successfully nesting and raising babies in these holes in trees that really, I want our native birds to be using. So a good addition that we were able to include in our management plan was nest boxes. And this was something we started up about 5 years ago. There's 32 of these, and it just adds new cavities, new nest sites for these birds. And while we spend a lot of our time managing the habitat and the forest habitat around these boxes, it takes a lot of work keeping track of the birds themselves and making sure the boxes are functioning right. Managing the birds is like a whole nother second job. But it's very rewarding. I absolutely love to see the birds successfully fledging and leaving home for the first time. Right off the bat, we got these native songbird species nesting. So far up to date, we've got western bluebirds nesting in the boxes, tree swallows, violet green swallows, chestnutback chickadee, oak titmouse, and Buick's wrens have all used these boxes and successfully fledged chicks. We have 2 nest box designs. Our 400 boxes with the 4x4 floor, that box has a 1 1/4 inch opening. And then the 500 boxes are the 5x5 floors, these 500 boxes with the 1.5 inch hole. This 1.5 inch diameter is really critical for excluding the European starlings that are around taking all the natural nest sites. The metal faceplate to keep the woodpeckers from enlarging the hole. The 2 boards thick door is really important. That makes this entrance tunnel deeper so the scrub jays can't reach in and then reach down to grab the babies. The nest will be like down in here. So when the scrub jay's hanging off the front thinking, I'm gonna have eggs for breakfast, and he's hanging off and he's reaching his head in there, his neck's not long enough to reach down and then pluck up those eggs or babies. The telescoping poles, this bit I was very proud of. These are metal electrical conduit pipes. This interior one is 1 inch diameter, this bigger one's 1 1/4, and you can slide it up and down so you can actually look in the box. It's really amazing to have all these cool habitats and all this amazing diversity in one small little special place. We've got the pine forest, we've got dunes, we've got our coastline. It's like a little microcosm of what California represents. And it's a state park, that's why we can make this happen. ...236 species of bird have been seen here at Asilomar. And we're only a 100-acre park. It's really small, but lots of good habitats. And the more diversity of habitats you have, the more diversity of birds you can have inhabiting those little spaces within the habitats. So there's about 5 pretty distinct habitat types at Asilomar. The pine oak forest, and the transition forest, which is pines and oaks, but they're more spread out and they're a little shorter. And this is where the 32 boxes all reside. Then there's the dune habitat. The coast habitat and these rocky and sandy shorelines out there. You gotta be smart if you're gonna be a bird. If anybody calls you a bird brain, incidentally, you should be like, why, thank you, because it's not an insult. Birds are amazing and super smart. And these birds, they're going to be feeding their chicks almost every 2 to 3 minutes. So, you gotta, you gotta go fast, But the chicks have to grow up to do that, to fly and leave this box in about 20 days. So they hatch out of an egg that's a little bigger than a Whopper, a jelly bean, and that's about how big they are too, because they had to fit in there. They pop out and they have 20 days to become a bird and fly away and feed themselves. So you can see why they have to feed their babies so fast, so rapidly. And just high quality bugs, that's what these birds are eating. So they're collecting bugs and then they get back to their nest and they just, feed the babies and then off they go again. It's just work for about 20 days. Wow. And then ideally the kids are all big and strong and they go out the door too. Yeah. Never to return. That's the tricky thing with these kind of nest caps. The bluebirds have been going in and checking it out. The female went in and kind of just sat in the corner really quietly. That was really crazy. And then the male came in. There's not a lot of space. It's a 5-inch by 5-inch floor. And he was just right in her face singing this little complex song that I've never heard. And it was so beautiful and wonderful to just see what they're up to. Who knows if they were discussing the merits of the box or if he was just singing at her. You never can tell. This time of year, you just see pairs together. They're following some formula that they understand and they are, enacting. And then we're just watching and trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do and what might be directing their choices. It's hard to say what they might do or when. And they do have a lot of kind of skirmishes and scuffles and competition at the beginning of the season when they're deciding who gets which box. Everybody's gonna fight over this box one year and then everybody's fighting over 510 one year. And then the box behind me, 508, had a big old fight in it. The male western bluebird, presumably from 505, decided to come over, and the tree swallow, I think it was the tree swallow, was inside the box already, and then the male bluebird entered, and this is a tiny little space, but they were in there fighting, proper fighting, biting and contact and wing slaps. And then they sat there for a little bit, just really quiet, which is a little weird. It is dark in there, so maybe they couldn't see each other, I don't know. But then they started fighting again. It was really dramatic. And I don't know if the bluebird thinks he wants this as a backup nest site. Hard to say what's going on in their little bird brains. Anybody home? Oh, dang it. Yeah, this one's got quite a few feathers and pine needles in it now. We're gonna open box 510 real quick and check on the progress of our bluebird nest. This box, the female bluebird was building and it's going really crazy building the other week. The grasses and pine needles they use are really flexible and they can get through the entrance hole. So you can see lots of pine needles, probably about 2.5 inches of pine needles in here. And she's got a little cup shape in the back corner, and that's where she's gonna put the soft stuff, and that's where she's gonna lay her eggs. And they kind of just scooch that out just with their legs and their butt, and they just kind of like get in there and just kind of wiggle it around. And they arrange every little twig just so. Like this oak titmouse, it's already like this thick, and she's already like putting the little cup shape in it for where she's gonna sit. And so she like built a nest in like 2 days. Tree swallows. I check these nest boxes officially about once a week. I do a lot more, walk-bys, watch with binoculars from a distance, than actually physically walking up and opening this sucker up, because if there's a lot of activity, you don't want to be in here hassling the birds and disturbing them. We want this to be a nice, happy place where you want to raise a family. It's important to check the nest boxes to see what's happening inside, to collect the data when nests are beginning to be built, but also to count when the first egg gets laid, and then when the last egg is laid and the female's incubating, because then you can estimate the days that the eggs will be hatching. And then you won't have to keep coming and opening the box and seeing if there's like more eggs or less eggs or what's going on. You can just know to hold off until it's about time for the chicks to hatch, and then you can start checking in again. And then you want to have a date when the chicks first hatch and then when they fledge. 509 has 4 eggs. Four little white eggs that she's been incubating. But yeah, these swallows have these really messy feather-lined nests, and the feathers are these huge ones that I think are from like that's a seagull feather, there's some crow feathers in there. They just take a little bit from everywhere. Pretty messy. It's always hard to see the eggs and the chicks and stuff. They're super messy with those feathers, but they stick them in like they're doing something really specific, like trying to make like a dome over the top of the nest. And then when they sit down in there, they're really well hidden. Going home. Let's see who's in the back. 5 eggs. That one's really pink in the front. It's funny. Nest failure, where no chicks fledge. That's pretty common, actually. It can be at this phase where the eggs never hatch. It can be at the chicks hatched, but then they never fledge. There's loads of nest starts that don't even get eggs in them. So here's her perfect little nest. There's her perfect little eggs. It's just perfectly pristine and empty, and she just left him. Maybe she was inexperienced, maybe he was inexperienced. Maybe she or the male got predated, got eaten, or the eggs were all infertile and maybe she could feel that. They're cold, they've been cold, and she hasn't been in there for weeks. Didn't get very far, at least. Oh man, there was a little bit of development in this one. You can see the veins on the side, the red veins. And there was a little guy in there, a little embryo that was developing. Yeah, and it could be for any number of reasons. A predator got one of the pair, and so the other one was like, well, this isn't gonna work, and they ditch. Or, both of them got eaten, or they got spooked by something, or maybe the resources aren't good enough. He wasn't feeding her enough because he couldn't find enough, and she's like, well, I can't sit here all day and just starve. You gotta live to make eggs next year. If you die sitting on these eggs, they'll die, and then you'll be dead too. It's always like, you have to sacrifice this stuff. It might have been a raccoon. I saw a raccoon the other morning actually out here. And so, oh, somebody got eaten over here, for instance. Oh God. That's not good. Like this could be it right here. This could be why she's not incubating, is because she'd been eaten. She or daddy bird. These might be oak titmice. These are definitely the right color and size. Lordy, lordy, that's not good. But it could have been a Cooper's or a sharp-shinned hawk. Those guys specialize in eating little birds, and I've seen them around. There should be a female in here incubating. And actually might be good if she's not, because then we can see the eggs. Violet green swallows are pretty notorious for sitting tight on their eggs, and they just stare at you like, what are you doing? This is my nest, go away. Oh, she's in there. You see her? She's mixed in with all the feathers. And no one home. So here's 510 with 3 eggs way down there. That's a red-shouldered hawk feather. That's it. Oh, someone got a whole pine branch in there. That's kind of cool. Crazy birds. Okay, here we go. Look what's inside. 5 eggs. 5 light blue ones, just like Mom and Dad. Holy cow, the red-shouldered hawk just flew up, but she had something huge in her talons, like a big old squirrel or something. Bigger than a gopher, I think. You might walk over and try to... This is the far edge of the pine oak forest. There's fewer trees, they're really spread out. It's going into the transition forest. The vegetation is less dense. But this is where the bluebirds really like to hang out because they like the open space. They don't want dense canopy cover. This is just the kind of habitat they really like. This might be my Leatherman, that's right. Usually I just have my screwdriver with me, but I didn't bring it. I always feel some pressure. Oh, no, look who's back, he's back. Oh, no. That's okay, we can look real quick. She's just gonna be mad at us. There's our babies. Real small, so this is a day older too. Oh, there's some ants, let's squish those. You hear them peeping really quiet? Peep. We want some snacks. All right, close up shop. And squish them ants. Oh, you ants. There's female bluebird, she just came out. And there's daddy bluebird. Oh, there they go. The males and females are really different looking. They're sexually dimorphic. The males are really, really beautiful, vibrant blue. The females, they're very beautiful as well. Just a more like soft, dusty gray with some blue more on the edge of their wings and their tail feathers. With all the scrub jay activity that we've seen, I have really cued into their alarm calls. The bluebirds have a really specific sound when there's a scrub jay around, and I'll hear it across the park. So I get all worried. Scrub jays are really, really big predators on songbird nests. That's just their MO because they are very intelligent and determined and dexterous and really good at manipulating food items. They have a very multi-use beak. They're able to hold food with their feet, pull off the bits they want, get rid of the shell of an acorn, get rid of the chunks of the baby bird you don't want to eat, intestines, whatever. But yeah, so the scrub jays don't like the crows. The crows try to eat their cute little babies. Bluebirds don't like the scrub jays. The scrub jays are trying to eat their little babies. Every animal in the neighborhood wants to eat your children. They're like bite-sized, perfect little delectable, adorable babies. And everybody just wants to eat them up. They've got cute little babies they need to feed, and about 30% of their diet is protein sources that are non-plant-based, so bugs, reptiles, little birds and eggs and things like that. But all these years I've never seen a scrub jay actually get a bird from our nest. I've seen them try many times and not be able to reach in and get anybody out, eggs or chicks. And so I've always thought that our boxes were somehow impervious to scrub jays. I should have known better. I shouldn't have been surprised, but it was pretty horrible just because this is our only pair of bluebirds in the park and I'm very protective of them. And I want everybody to live in harmony, be happy. There's the mom on the front of the box. Oh, and she just went in and come out with poop. Fecal sack. That one was a messy one. Oh, and she picked it up. That was funny. One, two, three, four, I think, in there. See them all? Oh, yeah, there's like poo, there's dead bugs. Looking good, kids. Hey, you. Oh, that's a poopy nest. There's all these bits of dead bugs in the nest and stuff. That's just gross. There's another weird bug. Get out of there. Close-up shop. Hey guys. Oh man. It's so cute. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They're looking good. There's the nuthatches too. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, now we run. See that big bird on the top? Yeah. That's a chick maybe from 403. He saw another box and he was like, I want to be a baby again. Hey you guys, how's it going? Is everybody okay? Yeah, it smells kind of not good. Here, look out. Is there a dead guy in here? But we still got 4. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see them? They're cute. Oh, poopy babies. 1, 2, 3. just high quality bugs. You know, that's what these birds are eating. The adults are aerial insectivores, so they're flying around catching bugs out of the sky. Birds are going to be feeding their chicks almost every 2 to 3 minutes, so you know you gotta go fast. So they're collecting bugs, and then they get back to their nest and they just, you know, feed the babies, and then off they go again. It's just work for about 20 days, and then ideally the kids are all big and strong and they go out the door too. Done. Good job, 509.